Gaming Geek here with an unboxing video from White Werewolf Tavern. Before we get into today's video though, I want to share what the GGGG is for this month. Every month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts, and for this month of September of 2021, we have a ton of them. The big one is the longer LK5 Pro large format FDM printer. That is one of the gratitude gifts, as well as a bunch of these Archon Studios sci-fi sets. This printed and painted cottage from Ian Lovecraft, who is coming out with a Kickstarter very soon. $100 to go towards a current Kickstarter, which my Patreon supporters are voting upon right now. And some of these miniatures that White Werewolf Taverns have sent me will also be added to this month's gratitude gifts. If you want to see the full list, go ahead and click on my links below to go to my Patreon page, and you can check that out and sign up if you're interested. So White Werewolf Tavern reached out to me since it is their anniversary month this year, and they have a special for 60% off all of their items that's found on My Mini Factory. So go ahead and check out the links that I provide below if you want to get in on that. They also have a Patreon page, and we're going to go ahead and go over to the computer later on, and I'll walk you through their Patreon to see what kind of STL files that you can receive from them. But for today, we are going to be unboxing. They sent me a number of miniatures. I think it is from their Demon line, which I'm really excited about because I recently got this rule set called Reign in Hell. And so I have been printing out also my Bloodfield's Demon army in order to also play with this game. So I am looking forward to what kind of miniatures are also in here that I might be able to use to enhance my Cabal. So let's go ahead and unbox these and see what kind of miniatures are in here. So it looks like White Werewolf Tavern actually comes from Greece, since I recognize these Greek letters, but I don't know what it actually says. So check that out. I do think these are 3D prints. Yes, I see support spots on them. So these are definitely resin printed, and the quality looks pretty good. The details on them are really good. And I'm just checking the flexibility of the resin that they use, and it is slightly flexible, although this is fairly thin, so I wouldn't want to flex it too much in fear of it breaking. But this is the first guy I pulled out here, and it looks like there's a base as well included. Looks like there's a foot imprint, so these are specific to each one of the models, which is great. That means I won't have to pin them in order to stick them onto the base. And the quality of these prints look pretty good. It looks like these were printed at an angle. I see a little bit of the attached marks that will be easy enough to just sand off, but the quality looks good. Okay, so the bases are variable, which is great. We got an outcropping that this two-headed demon can stand on. I think it goes like this, it looks like, but I'm going to need to use the hot water method, which I've used before on resin prints, just to straighten this out, get it out of the way, because it looks like, pretty sure it's supposed to stand on this somehow. Yep, it looks like it's supposed to be like this. So that looks pretty cool as well. Oh, well look at that, a human. I thought I only had demons in this pack. But it looks like it's a soldier. So that's cool. I'm getting some soldiers in this pack. Alright, so it looks like he goes on like this. So I really like that they have all of, even though they're clearly the same minion, they have different poses, and it's going to look fairly different from one another rather than just having a static pose for each of them. Yeah, it's cool that they made specific bases for these, because I've actually bought base toppers in the past through other Kickstarters, but I found that a lot of them, because the surface was so rough, it was hard to embed the miniature onto the bases. So the fact that they have specific bases for each of the models, I really appreciate that detail a lot because it just makes basing that much easier. So this looks like a 32 millimeter base, so a little bit larger. And not 100% sure how the assembly is supposed to go, but obviously this is supposed to be more like a flying creature where you have these wings attaching. Oh yeah, so he's sort of in mid-flight. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to base him, attach him to the base, but he definitely looks really cool. Yeah, and these soldiers are also have a variety of poses on them, which is great. And it looks like they were printed, most of these were printed tilting down like this because of the connection marks here, and these are going to be easily sanded off. Oh, this is similar to the other winged gargoyle-like demon, but this guy is standing on his base instead of being in flight, which is super cool. I'm gonna assemble these so that you guys can see what they look like. Yep, another. So I'm getting 3 of the winged ones and 3 of the minor or lesser demons. So great amount of detail. I'm really happy. I mean, look at the muscles on this guy. Great amount of detail on him. Print is really clean. Just have to do a little bit of filing here and there, but looks really good. Details on the wings also look really good as well. Alright, so this says extra models. I wonder what's in here. Oh, look, these are sort of random models, already based. He looks like he could be a druid. He's got a hawk on his arm. He's got that staff. He's got a bear fur on him as well. I mean, that looks incredible. I mean, look at the base. The base looks really good too. So that's a great model. Detail on the face, look at that. Yes, I am impressed. Let's check out these frog guys. That's really cool. Wow, look at the detail on these. I mean, just awesome. Look at the mushrooms. Do you see that? That is incredible. How did they print those mushrooms? That's amazing. And then here is probably a shaman. So that's really cool too. Look at that. Look at that detail of having the strap through the back, right? And the fur, the detail on that fur is amazing. Like I said, a little bit of cleanup work with the supports, but nothing I'm not used to. Yeah, I'm just amazed. That is an incredible level of detail. So let me stick some of these, glue these miniatures together so you can get a better look at them. Okay, so here they are all assembled. And I didn't want to glue them onto their bases because if you're like me, you like to paint the bases before you attach the miniature on top of them. So on some of them, I just use some of this poster tack just to temporarily attach them to the base. But I think these winged demons in the back, they look really awesome. And then I figured out with this middle one that its wing is dragging on the ground, and that's what attaches it to the base. And even these guys look really dynamic and different from each other. And that's what I really like about these miniatures, is that even though you can tell that these three back here, the winged ones, are supposed to go together, as well as this group of smaller demons, they're clearly the same style, but their poses are all dynamic and different from one another. So I think that looks pretty cool. Even the soldiers back here, all of their poses are pretty different from one another and more dynamic. So I really appreciate that a lot, and think the quality of these guys are really good. So definitely I think these models are going to look fantastic on your tabletop, whether or not you're using them for an RPG or for a skirmish game. I think these guys are going to be fantastic. So I am going to be putting up all of these miniatures for the GGGG, the giveaway for one of my Patreon supporters. So at the end of this month of September of 2021, Bob the Beholder will pick one of my Patreon supporters to be receiving these. I'll ship these to the one who is chosen as a gratitude gift among the many others for this month. We have so many lined up, so make sure you get in on that by using links below. But these look fantastic. So let's go ahead and go on over to their website, and I can fill you in a little bit on their Patreon page and what's going on there. So let's head on over to the computer. Alright, so let's go ahead and check this out. This is the Patreon page for White Werewolf Tavern, and again, links all in the descriptions below. And what we see is they have basically one membership plan as long as you're not a merchant, and what it gives you is at least a dozen miniatures that are released each month. And I think they also have a welcome chest with a bunch of other miniatures that are available. Here you see the welcome chest, and I am going to go ahead and go to another page just to show you what more close-up pictures of what you're going to be receiving. But this month, the demons that I showed you and the human militia are part of the package. So if you want to get in on that, you can become a Patreon for this month and receive STL files for all of those. And then they do have an anniversary set celebrating their anniversary for this month of September. And one of the cool things about it, if I haven't mentioned it already, is that you're going to get a 60% off coupon for their My Mini Factory page. And that is going to be through the 20th of this month, 20th of September. So make sure you jump in on that if you would like that. Right, here it is. If you use this code WWT Big Sale, you're going to automatically get 60% off all of their My Mini Factory. So let's go ahead and go over to their store and see what is available. Looks like the regular discount that you get as a Patreon supporter is 50% off. Here's the one that they sent me, and as you saw, the print turned out really, really good. So all of these are available online. So obviously you're going to get a way better deal by being a supporter, a Patreon supporter. And let's just click on one of these randomly. So they just have different themes for each month, which is fairly common for most Patreon STL file developers. So again, make sure to take advantage of that coupon code if you just wanted to grab some of these files independently. Here, let's go ahead and check out their Facebook page, see what is on here. I always like going to Facebook because you typically get fan made or painted miniatures. And here you're seeing bigger pictures of what is going to be available for this September. I mean, look at this demon with this gate. That looks awesome. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is that as a Patreon supporter, you do receive these 5th edition D&D stat blocks for each of the creatures, which I think is pretty cool, as well as I think a one-shot adventure that includes them. So again, check that guy out. That guy looks awesome. And then what I love about this model here is all of these guards that have been either wiped out or are tempted by this succubus. And here are the models that they sent to me. It looks like they have versions where you don't need to put the wings on them, as well as the 3 lesser demons. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what is available online. If you do become a Patreon supporter, this is not a Kickstarter campaign, but instead is a Patreon artist developing all these STL files, which looks really cool. So go ahead, again, links in the descriptions below if you wanted to check these out for yourself. So there you have it, the unboxing from White Werewolf Tavern. Again, all links are in the descriptions below. If you're interested in possibly being chosen as one of my Patreon supporters to receive a lot of these giveaways, as well as some of these miniatures from White Werewolf Tavern, then go ahead and check out my Patreon link in order to sign up for that. I'm sorry I didn't have time to paint up these miniatures, but these look like they would be relatively easy to speed paint. And so if I have time, you might be able to see some of these models in my Cabal in future videos. So make sure you sign up to subscribe so that you're notified whenever I come up with my future videos, not only for this game, not only for Reign in Hell, but also for many others that are upcoming. Thanks for watching. Happy painting, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.